lot of attention these days on leadership in Washington, but what about leadership on Beacon Hill? And who's president of the state Senate right now anyway?
I'm incredibly humbled.
Do you know who the interim Senate president is?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm a pretty well-informed
No, I
person.
know. You know that the Speaker of the House is Robert.
No. I like Charlie, so, your
Governor's good?
Governor's
All right.
good.
I'm almost 70 years old, and I've seen chaos in political circles are never-ending.
All right, we're in time for the OTR Political Roundtable on this Easter Sunday. So, Democrat Marianne Marsh is with us this morning, and Republican Ginny Buckingham is with us this morning. You heard President Chandler this morning, guys. What's your assessment of the status of the Senate? Ginny, let me start with you. They're the Spilka issue, the Rosenberg issue, the Brady issue.
Not good. I think we're all waiting to see what that Rosenberg report is going to say, and I think a lot of fallout will come from that if it's a thorough, fair report. Having said that, Senator Chandler obviously is still at the top of her game. Mm-hmm. I think it's great that if Senator Spilka has the votes, that another strong woman is going to come in. A bit of a culture change is what's needed.
I found it interesting. She said this morning when Janet asked her about the press conference that happened. You phrased it at where you miffed.
Right, and she said not miffed, surprised. How did you take that?
Yeah.
I think we all laughed in the green room. I mean, it was a damning comment, no matter what. I mean, she, in her own way, made her point. But when you take a look at all of it, I mean, Spilka got off to a terrible start with that press conference. Rosenberg's not only under investigation, he has a primary challenger now out of Northampton. You have Brady in the DUI situation. He said he was going to get help, but he'll be in rehab, but he's coming back next week. You have 3 women senators leaving the Senate. Linda Dorsina-Forey just left. Eileen Donohue's leaving any day now. You have Catherine O'Connor St. Ives leaving. And a number of reps who always planned on running for the Senate who are all taking passes now. So in many ways, I think the best thing for the Senate is if Harley Chandler could stay longer. I understand why she picked out the time after the budget, but the longer she can stay, let Spilka get on her feet, let the dust settle everywhere else, to Jenny's point, the better off everyone will be.
By the way, this is video from that press conference that we were talking about.
The Senate almost looks like the White House, doesn't it, with all this transition and all this movement?
Not that bad.
But that was from Ginny, by the way. That was from Ginny.
I got to call it like it is.
Okay, Massachusetts has joined a lawsuit to stop the Trump administration from adding a question about citizenship to the 2020 census. Neither of you are lawyers, but you're both astute political observer. What's going to happen here, Marianne?
We are constitutionally mandated to count every person living in the United States every 10 years. That is the law. Now, what is laughable is that the Trump administration is claiming it's to protect the Voters' Rights Act, which when you look at everything they've done to undermine voters' rights, it's a joke, especially when they've never punished Russia for 2016, done nothing to prepare for 2018, and Putin is doing stuff to us every day, and he refuses to take them on. So this has nothing to do with the Voters' Rights Act and everything to do with undermining democracy.
Should the question be added to the 2020 census?
So first of all, from a political
2022, I'm sorry.
Yeah, from a political point of view, it's a kind of brilliant move because the states that it could potentially harm are states that are not Trump voting states, or Republican voting states. Also, there's nothing in it that says that non-documented people can't do it anyway. There's nothing stopping them. People say there'll be a chilling effect, but that's a hard legal argument, I think.
They're getting rid of people every single day in this country. They're using Facebook in ICE to get rid of people. It has a tremendously chilling effect, and the people who complain about that the most are the local police officers because people aren't cooperating anymore. They're not giving them tips. They're not doing anything. It's terrible for democracy.
I want to move the conversation to a cyber attack. Atlanta is still recovering from and of course, Atlanta is one of the major cities in the United States, virtually the same size as Boston in terms of population. It's still recovering from a major cyber attack that brought the city to a standstill last week. Are we in America, are we here in Massachusetts taking this serious enough, Marianne?
No, and this week alone, it's not only Atlanta, Baltimore's 911 system, Boeing, the Colorado Department of Transportation got hacked, and they had to bring in the National Guard. There have been reports recently about our nuclear sites being under attack, our water dams being under attack, and it's all from Russia and Putin. So while he's killing, spies in the UK and here, he's taunting us and showing what he's going to do to us, and Trump won't do anything to him.
Well, not just him. I think there are hackers all over the world
not doing that.
who are after us. And government is notoriously bad at preparing for something that hasn't happened yet. So now that it's starting to happen to governments, hopefully it will send a message and they'll be learning to take from it and prepare for it. And look in Boston, there's so many tech people that we could bring in and say, help us, because government people don't know how to do this.
But no one's done it for the election.
Let's talk about the Registry of Motor Vehicles. Very popular this week. Hundreds showed up to get that new Real ID, which actually isn't needed until 2020. But there's also a series of other problems. I personally had a problem with that, but we don't need to get into that. But
Let's hear it.
did the registry screw up here? Jim?
Well, my daughter's getting her permit in a couple of weeks, so it better be fixed by then. So I was interested to read about Governor Baker's lack of passion this past week in the newspapers. What he is passionate about is making government work. This is something that has to gnaw at him. He's got to be on top of it. I'm sure no one is more upset about what happened at the registry than him.
Is this going to get fixed quickly, do you think?
Well, so much for the early bird special working out. No, everything that has to do with transportation is broken. You know, public transportation, roads and bridges, construction everywhere, nothing gets better. And this is one more example. And we need it to make the economy work, and it does not work.
Just as a point, the woman at the very beginning of the show, she said that it was still a problem with the RMV. She went at 11 in the morning. Yeah. By 4 o'clock in the afternoon, she was back in her car and left. It was 5 hours for her to go through that.
Apparently, they did practice and try to do this rollout, easily, but it didn't happen.
I want to talk about Deb Goldberg, the state treasurer, making a move to move the lottery headquarters, which has been in Braintree for 20 years, to Boston. It's going to cost a little over $1.5 million, and the union and other employees are furious. Is this a mistake, Marianne?
It seems to be. I mean, they're saying the only mistake that was made was communication, but I think there's more to it than that. She hasn't paid a political price for it yet, but I think it's worth looking at why they really did it and how badly they communicated, and to see whether or not they can do a better job in the future. It's not clear that she won't pay a price for it.
I'd like to see a cost-benefit analysis. Is it going to cost more to stay where they are and upgrade and do what they have to do than what they have to spend to move?
All right, we continue on the record. Stay with us.